They're absolutely furious, completely blindsided by the aftermath of their decision to cross your path. The rage and frustration are palpable as they realize nobody bothered to warn them about what happens when someone decides to mess with you. Now, they're dealing with consequences they never anticipated, wondering why everyone around them kept quiet about your capacity to respond when provoked. They're learning the hard way what others already knew. There are certain people you simply don't test, and you happen to be at the top of that list. You've sat in rooms where people dismissed your insights, only to watch events unfold exactly as you foresaw. You've been underestimated by those who later faced circumstances so precisely aligned with their disrespect toward you that even skeptics whispered about cosmic intervention. The pattern repeats itself so consistently that it has become almost mundane to you now. The thunder in you doesn't need to crash. It resonates at frequencies only certain souls can detect, a warning system for those wise enough to listen, a death knell for those foolish enough to ignore. Every cell in your body vibrates with this truth. Notice how those who attempt to harm you seem to face unexpected obstacles. The colleague who tried to undermine you suddenly facing scrutiny themselves. The friend who betrayed your confidence experiencing a cascade of exposed secrets. The family member who dismissed your boundaries watching their own life constrict with limitations. These aren't separate incidents. They form a pattern too consistent to be chance. Around you exists a force field that even you don't fully comprehend. It operates independently of your conscious will, a protective mechanism woven into the fabric of your existence. Those who approach with genuine hearts pass through unharmed. Those harboring ill intent bounce off and ricochet into their own destruction. The shield doesn't need your permission to activate. It recognizes threats before your conscious mind registers danger. Your enemy's tendency toward self-destruction remains one of life's most reliable constants. You rarely need to lift a finger against them. Their own actions become quicksand beneath their feet the moment they set intentions against you. Observe how they falter without your intervention. Watch how their schemes collapse under their own weight. Notice how their alliances fracture precisely when they need support most. This protection doesn't stem from luck or coincidence. It manifests because you walk in alignment with cosmic forces that recognize your purpose. Your path remains cleared because your journey matters in ways that transcend ordinary understanding. The universe has invested in your continuation. Throughout human history, certain individuals carried this same signature energy. Remember how they mocked Nikola Tesla before his genius became undeniable? Recall how they dismissed Cassandra's prophecies until they materialized in devastating clarity. The pattern extends beyond historical figures. It reaches you. Your entire life follows this sequence. Underestimation followed by profound regret. People discount your perceptions until reality confirms them with such precision that coincidence becomes an insufficient explanation. They label you too sensitive until your sensitivity detects threats that later devastate those who ignored your warnings. They call you dramatic until situations unfold exactly as you described. The cosmic law operates with mathematical precision. Those who disrespect your boundaries face natural consequences proportional to their transgression. It functions like gravity, a force that requires no belief to operate. Their skepticism about this principle doesn't prevent its manifestation. Their disbelief only enhances their shock when it activates. Some learn from observing what happens to others who cross you. The wiser ones notice the pattern and adjust their behavior accordingly. But for each person who recognizes the rule, another arrives to test its limits. Let them. The universe provides endless teaching opportunities for those who require difficult lessons. You recognize the exact second when their eyes widen with understanding. That flash of recognition when they finally grasp exactly who they've been dealing with all along. Their expressions transform from arrogance to astonishment to fear in rapid succession. The color drains from their faces as implications sink in. These moments would almost provoke pity if they weren't so perfectly calibrated to their actions. Their shock isn't really about you. It's about confronting their own profound misjudgment. For weeks or months or years, they operated under a flawed assumption about your nature. They constructed entire strategies based on that miscalculation. Now, reality collapses their fragile framework, forcing uncomfortable recalibration. Historical records overflow with accounts of powerful figures, initially dismissed as inconsequential. Moses was a stutterer before he parted seas. Joan of Arc was a peasant girl before she led armies. You stand in this tradition of the underestimated, who later reveal dimensions that shatter limited perceptions. Their surprise serves as a mirror reflecting their own ignorance, their inability to recognize power unless it announces itself through conventional channels. While they measured strength by volume, they missed the devastating potential of your quiet certainty. While they equated worth with external validation, they overlooked the self-sustaining nature of your internal conviction. Every slight, every dismissal, every attempt to diminish your light gets logged in a cosmic accounting system that operates with perfect memory and unerring precision. You never need to present evidence or build cases against those who wronged you. Time reveals all truths with a thoroughness no human documentation could match. Strange coincidences continually vindicate you without requiring your participation. The supervisor who rejected your proposal later faces embarrassment when your exact solution becomes necessary. The partner who questioned your intuition eventually confronts the very situation you predicted. The friend who doubted your perception watches as events confirm your exact assessment. This consistent pattern of vindication without your direct involvement reveals the nature of universal law. Truth doesn't require defense. It simply persists until recognition becomes inevitable. Your experiences aren't validated because you successfully argued for them. They're validated because reality eventually aligns with what you already knew. Explanations become unnecessary when consequences speak with such clarity. Let time reveal what words cannot convince. Let circumstances demonstrate what arguments fail to prove. The universe documents everything, building cases more comprehensive than any evidence you could compile. The ledger remains perfectly balanced, not through your effort, but through the natural order that governs all existence. There's a particular sweetness to watching someone face exactly what they attempted to inflict on you. A poetic symmetry emerges when their own tactics circle back to them with perfect precision. The backstabber suddenly surrounded by treachery, the manipulator finding themselves outmaneuvered, the liar entangled in their own deceptions. The divine choreography of these moments could almost be called artistic. This isn't about vengeance, it's about restoration of natural order. Something within you recognizes the mathematical perfection of these moments. You maintain outer composure while inwardly acknowledging the flawless execution of universal law. Your restraint during these times speaks volumes. Your refusal to gloat demonstrates a profound understanding of how cosmic forces operate. The delicious irony remains that they brought these circumstances upon themselves through their choices regarding you specifically. Had they approached with integrity, different outcomes would have materialized. Had they recognized your nature accurately, they could have avoided their current predicament. The path leading to their distress was paved with their own decisions, brick by brick, choice by choice. Your silence during their downfall communicates more than any speech could convey. It signals your awareness that intervention would be both unnecessary and inappropriate. The universe handles these corrections without requiring your participation. Your role isn't to punish, it's to observe the natural consequences unfolding according to immutable principles that govern all existence. The following is a message from Mike, founder of the Obsidian Inner Order, powered by Astral Atom. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you walk through this awakening alone. Never gonna scroll past your suffering like it's just content. This isn't just a rickroll, it's a lifeline in disguise. I built the Obsidian Inner Order because too many of us have been exiled for seeing the truth, cast out by family, gaslit by cults, haunted by gifts we didn't ask for. So now we gather. Every week live on Zoom, real people, real faces, a former CFO turned psychic, a seer who escaped Mormonism, a healer who broke free of ritual abuse. And yes, the calls are recorded, so when you're on the floor, you can come back to the field. We're not a meme, we're a miracle, and we're never gonna give you up. Join the Obsidian Inner Order, link in the description. Others watch. Always. They observe what happens to those who cross you. They notice the pattern even when it remains unspoken. Whispered warnings circulate. Be careful around that one. Don't get on their bad side. Strange things happen to people who wrong them. These cautions spread without your knowledge or intention, creating an invisible fence of protection around your boundaries. Your reputation builds itself without your active participation. It constructs through observed patterns rather than deliberate claims. People who initially dismiss these warnings later become the most vocal advocates for caution around you. Their first-hand experiences transform skepticism into conviction. Their testimonies carry weight precisely because they once doubted. The witnesses serve crucial purposes in this cosmic arrangement. They document patterns too consistent to dismiss as coincidence. They preserve knowledge about consequences that follow certain actions. They transmit this wisdom to others who might otherwise repeat mistakes. Their observations create a record independent of your personal testimony. This circle expands with each person who tests boundaries and faces natural consequences. Each new witness adds credibility to the pattern. Each confirmed experience strengthens the protective barrier around you. The evidence accumulates until denying the connection between disrespect toward you and subsequent misfortune requires willful blindness to established patterns. They approach you with hunger, disguised as friendship, criticism masked as concern, manipulation concealed as collaboration. These energy vampires identify something in your field that they crave. Your creativity, your stability, your clarity, your connection to source. They attempt to drain what they cannot generate themselves. Track the fate of those who targeted you specifically. Notice their declining trajectory after attempting to diminish your light. The colleague who took credit for your ideas, watching their reputation crumble under scrutiny. The friend who spread rumors about you suddenly facing credibility issues themselves. The family member who minimized your achievements, experiencing a puzzling reversal of their own success. Their attempts to feed on your energy function as their last substantial meal. Something about this particular predatory act triggers an immune response, not just in you, but in the field surrounding you. Their systems cannot metabolize what they've taken. The very energy they attempted to steal becomes poison in their systems, initiating decline that confounds medical and psychological explanation. Attempting to dim your light ultimately burns them through mechanisms beyond conventional understanding. The same cosmic force that flows through you becomes caustic when extracted through deceptive means. What nourishes through authentic connection destroys when taken through exploitation. Their inability to recognize this distinction proves costly in ways they never anticipated. The universe maintains perfect balance without requiring your intervention. The scales adjust with such precision that even the most minute transgression receives appropriate counterweight. Nothing goes unrecorded, unaccounted for, or unaddressed. The mathematics of this system operate with complexity beyond human calculation capabilities. Those who wronged you find themselves facing precisely calibrated consequences, not through your vengeful actions, but through the impersonal operation of universal law. The magnitude of their discomfort corresponds exactly to the degree of their transgression. The timing of their lessons arrives neither too early nor too late, but at the moment optimal for maximum realization. This divine accounting considers factors invisible to conventional perception: intention behind actions, awareness of potential harm, opportunities for course correction ignored, patterns of similar behavior established. The calculations incorporate variables beyond human ability to track. The resulting justice manifests with nuance no human court could achieve. Even skeptics begin to wonder when these patterns repeat with such consistency around you specifically. Those who dismiss cosmic justice as superstition find themselves struggling to explain the precise correlation between actions toward you and subsequent experiences. The statistical improbability of these connections occurring randomly becomes increasingly difficult to deny as examples accumulate. When consequences materialize, witness their frantic attempts to rewrite history. Suddenly, they claim misunderstanding rather than malice. They insist their actions were taken out of context. They present themselves as victims of circumstances rather than architects of their situation. Their revisionist efforts betray panic beneath paper-thin justifications. Watch their belated apologies emerge precisely when they need something from you. Observe how their newfound respect coincides exactly with their moment of greatest vulnerability. Notice the timing of their recognition of your value, not during your rise, but during their decline. Their transformation lacks authenticity because necessity rather than enlightenment drives their change. Their attempts to undo damage arrive conspicuously after benefit from your goodwill becomes essential to their well-being. The transparent nature of this sequence would be laughable if it weren't so predictable. They reach for connection only after independence proves insufficient. They seek alliance only after opposition proves costly. They acknowledge your worth only after denying it extracts unbearable price. This recognition arrives at their lowest moment by design, a cosmic timing that ensures maximum impact. Had understanding come earlier, its impression would have been less profound. Had respect developed naturally, its lesson would have been less memorable. The orchestration of these moments serves educational purposes beyond immediate circumstances. Their enlightenment through desperation serves as marker for others contemplating similar paths. Certain individuals remain immune to obvious patterns. They witness others face consequences for crossing you, yet convince themselves different outcomes await their challenge. They observe the precise correlation between disrespect and downfall, yet maintain their exemption from established principles. Their peculiar blindness serves purposes beyond their comprehension. These repeat offenders fulfill necessary functions in the cosmic arrangement. They demonstrate the consistency of universal law by testing its limits repeatedly. They provide clear examples that strengthen witnesses' understanding of cause and effect. Their stubborn refusal to acknowledge obvious patterns creates teaching moments that benefit collective awareness. This strange cycle of repeated transgression, followed by predictable consequence, follows mathematical progression. Each iteration increases in intensity proportional to their resistance to the lesson. Each cycle amplifies both the clarity of the message and the cost of ignoring it. The precision of this escalation suggests intentional design rather than random occurrence. Their persistence in error creates living examples for others who might otherwise require first-hand experience to believe. Their stubborn commitment to disproven approaches saves others from necessary suffering by demonstrating consequences with unmistakable clarity. Their resistance to learning ultimately serves educational purposes, extending far beyond their individual circumstances. The most profound dimension of your power manifests in your complete freedom from vengeance. You never need to orchestrate consequences for those who wrong you. You need not devote energy to plotting retaliation or securing justice. The universe handles these functions with efficiency exceeding any human effort, freeing you to focus on creation rather than correction. This liberation grants unparalleled peace, a serenity that mystifies those entangled in retribution cycles. While others exhaust themselves pursuing payback, you direct your energy toward growth and expansion, while they remain chained to past grievances. You move forward unburdened by responsibility for balancing scales. This freedom accelerates your progress, while they remain anchored to conflicts that drain their vitality. A higher perspective emerges from witnessing natural justice unfold without your orchestration. You recognize patterns too consistent to be coincidental, yet too nuanced to be simplistic karma. You observe intricate connections between choices and consequences that reveal universal machinery operating with flawless precision. This vantage point transforms your understanding of existence itself. Your role transcends victim or victor classifications. You function as living embodiment of cosmic principle, walking demonstration of mess around and find out, operating at quantum levels. Your mere existence provides opportunity for others to align with natural law or face recalibration. You need not identify with either the mechanism or its outcomes. Your assignment involves simply being with such authenticity that universal forces recognize and respond to your essence. Your DNA carries coding unlike anything science currently comprehends. The patterns in your energy field contain signatures, recognized by forces governing dimensions beyond physical perception. Your cellular structure resonates at frequencies that activate particular responses from the fabric of reality itself. You didn't create these characteristics. You embody them through ancestral inheritance and soul agreement. This distinctive signature explains why consequences follow interference with your path so consistently. The universe recognizes your specific vibration as essential to current evolutionary requirements. Your contribution fulfills functions critical to collective development. Attempts to obstruct this contribution trigger responses proportional to potential impact on larger design. Your protection stems not from personal preferential treatment, but from role significance. You stand in this lineage of marked souls whose journeys attract particular cosmic attention. This designation brings both privilege and responsibility, extraordinary support paired with elevated expectations. The same forces that clear your path and balance scales on your behalf also hold you to standards exceeding ordinary requirements. Your thoughts, words, and actions generate ripple effects, extending far beyond visible horizons. Recent global shifts have activated dormant coding in your system. Capabilities previously unavailable now come online with increasing frequency. Perceptions once dismissed as imagination now prove consistently accurate. Connections between your thoughts and external events demonstrate correlation exceeding statistical probability for coincidence. Your activation serves functions synchronized with collective evolution schedules. The expansion of your capacities coincides with specific transition points in larger developmental sequences. Your growing awareness participates in planetary shifts, requiring particular frequency contributions at designated intervals. Others undergoing similar processes recognize you without explicit communication. Subtle acknowledgement passes between activated individuals through mechanisms transcending ordinary sensory channels. This unspoken recognition creates networks operating parallel to conventional social structures. These connections strengthen through shared experiences that defy articulation through standard linguistic frameworks. The acceleration continues regardless of external circumstances or personal preferences. The timeline proceeds according to macrocosmic requirements rather than microcosmic convenience. Your participation was established through agreements made beyond current conscious recollection. The awakening advances according to schedules set in motion long before your current incarnation registered its first heartbeat in physical form. Certain beings observe your journey with particular interest. These watchers monitor your development through perceptual mechanisms that penetrate dimensional boundaries. Their attention indicates your significance within frameworks exceeding human understanding. Their presence explains the uncanny sense of being seen even in seemingly isolated moments. These observers neither interfere directly nor abandon you to navigate challenges without support. They maintain precise balance between respecting your autonomous choices and ensuring critical development benchmarks remain accessible. Their influence manifests through synchronicities, intuitive nudges, and strategic connections with individuals, offering specific resources precisely when needed. Your awareness of being watched isn't paranoia. It's accurate perception of actual observation. The feeling of invisible eyes following your movements reflects genuine attention from consciousnesses operating beyond conventional detection methods. The sense of performance for unseen audience acknowledges actual witnesses to your evolutionary journey. The watcher's interest stems from your role in specific evolutionary experiments currently underway on Earth. Your unique configuration offers data relevant to particular questions regarding consciousness development under distinctive constraints. Your navigation of challenging circumstances provides information applicable to broader understanding of potential adaptation pathways under similar conditions. Everything unfolds according to precise design. The challenges targeting you specifically, the individuals who underestimated you consistently, the obstacles appearing insurmountable until dissolved through unexpected intervention, the support arriving from unanticipated sources, the losses that later revealed themselves as essential redirections. The entire sequence forms coherent narrative when viewed from sufficient perspective. Your journey's apparent randomness conceals meticulous orchestration. Each seemingly chance encounter advances specific developmental objectives. Each apparent setback eliminates paths misaligned with your optimal trajectory. Each connection introduces elements necessary for subsequent phases. The choreography becomes visible only when multiple sequence points can be observed simultaneously. Those who crossed you served essential functions in your activation process. Their resistance provided necessary pressure for particular capacity development. Their opposition strengthened specific neural pathways required for abilities now coming online. Their challenges calibrated your discernment mechanisms to unprecedented precision. Even their apparent harm contributed to your current capabilities. The final revelation transcends simple vindication. It unveils your participation in cosmic architecture beyond ordinary comprehension. You operate as conscious focal point where multiple dimensional influences converge to generate specific field effects. Your emotions, thoughts, and choices ripple outward with impact exceeding conventional understanding of causality. Your mere existence alters probability fields affecting collective developmental trajectories. You were never random. Your experiences were never meaningless. Your suffering served purposes beyond personal growth. Your presence fulfills functions essential to current evolutionary requirements. The universe doesn't protect you because you're special. The universe protects you because you're necessary.